Previously on The Final Pitch, a global search for the best and brightest entrepreneurs who would pitch their businesses to our esteemed panel of investors officially begins. After going through a stringent selection process, the shortlisted entrepreneurs were invited to present to the investors for the first time. Some impressed,
There's really a big potential. I think this is something really good now.
while others left our investors with a bad taste in the mouth.
This presentation just turned me off because of the valuation.
After 3 grueling days of pitches, the investors were given 4 picks each by which to choose from among the entrepreneurs. Some were picked by more than one investor, giving them a greater chance to secure funding. These are the 10 entrepreneurs chosen to move on to the next round. Mark Lau of Big Guys Pizza, Mitch Chilson and Sarcy Lizano of Fight Shape and Butter Coffee, Paul De La Fuente of Floodguard, Mario Berta of Fly Spaces, Nice Guerrero of Glee, Jet Kababan of Infusions, Kit Flores of Kit's Homemade Products, Vincent Lau of Maria Health, Alphon and Grace Solano of Panga, and Joshua Aragon of Pushcart.ph. The stage is set for these entrepreneurs to chart the course of their business destinies. The road to the final pitch begins now. The Philippine Islands, home to over 100 million people, has one of the fastest growing economies in Asia. But critical to its future growth is the emergence of the modern day heroes that are the backbone of the economy, the entrepreneurs. My name is John Aguilar, and I'm an entrepreneur television producer based in Manila. I've gathered 4 self-made multi-millionaire and billionaire investors from different industries to fund and support the next great Filipino company. Henry Lim Bonleong, paper mogul and award-winning agri-technology entrepreneur. Joseph Calata, listed his company at age 31 and is the leading distributor of agri-products in the country. He is the Philippines' youngest self-made billionaire. Jose Jomag Magsaysay, co-founder of a well-loved global food brand and now full-time venture capitalist. And Mika Tan, millennial CEO of the MFT Group of Companies, with a vision to become a strategic partner to 100 businesses globally. Our goal is to find the best up-and-coming entrepreneurs and help take their businesses to the next level through an extensive mentorship and business development bootcamp unlike any other. In the end, they face the investors in a once-in-a-lifetime funding round. Many will try, but only a few will make it to the final pitch. Congratulations for making it here. We are very, very proud of what you've done during your initial pitches. The people that we have talked to have one-on-one sessions with you and even to conduct talks are really something else. It's like business school, but only better. Good luck and welcome to the final pitch. Today, the entrepreneurs are also formally introduced to the official home of the final pitch, the Startup Village, an incubation hub and accelerator for startup companies. Okay, so I'd like to now introduce the Executive Director of the Startup Village, Mr. Carlo Calimon.
Hello everyone. So there's an old proverb that says, it takes a village to raise a child. And it could not be more appropriate for us startups, right? Because we need to all collaborate, we all need to find partners, we all need to find the right people to help us transition from that early stage to the next level. Earlier, we were in the conference room, training room. So now you're in the shared space. So as you would have startup space over here, you can work here. Then we can also move to the other room. So this is the investor meeting area. So you can meet with your potential partners here, potential clients. Welcome to Startup Village.
Entrepreneurs, one of the first things that I think you need to know is that our expectation is for you to really improve on your pitches. Our friends from Canon have agreed to give you tools to help you with your presentations. I'd like to introduce you to Tony Cuesta. He's the head for professional, corporate, and new businesses. So he will explain to you the different toys that you will be able to use for your pitches?
Canon is a technology company. Aside from the cameras, we also have other output solutions, devices.
For anyone preparing a pitch, the tools are a godsend. From the latest mirrorless cameras and DSLRs with a selection of lenses to office equipment like printers and photocopiers with Wi-Fi access and secured printing. All these are now at the disposal of the entrepreneurs. And to complete the welcome is a special message from a special guest. Today we're very lucky because one of our mentors, he's in fact the Entrepreneur of the Year at the Asia Pacific Entrepreneurship Awards. We're very honored and pleased to have on board to mentor you today the President and CEO of Canon Marketing Philippines, Mr. Lim Kok-Hin.
Thank you very much. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Today, I want to introduce to you the concept of do more, work less. Get more done without working extremely long hours. In Canon Philippines, we encourage our employees to go home early and spend more time with their families. We think that they have a life beyond Canon. Do more, work less has what we call a success cycle. If you are successful at work and you feel accomplished, you complete your job, you go back home with a very good feeling. But if you didn't complete your work, chances is you may not be able to feel that same way. My first speech that I make to all my employees in Canon Philippines is, I empower every single one of you to be able to say no. Every time a task comes before you, you must always ask two pertinent questions. Is this job necessary? But do you know, many organizations, including the most successful organizations in the world, have people doing things they don't need to do. If the answer is no, stop it, don't do it. If the answer is yes, it needs to be done, what would be the next? A straightforward question. Is there a better way to do it? Right? Better way means faster, more efficient, cost less, gets the same result or better result. You can do more and work less. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very sure you will be very successful. Somebody here is going to become very, very rich after this show, right? May I wish everybody best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Up next on the final pitch.
I'll talk to you about marketing the way books don't talk about it. Sticking to your core competence is for morons. Huh? If you're a moron, stick to what you're good at, because you can't do any better.
The final pitch was designed to be a mini business bootcamp. The goal, to prepare the entrepreneurs for the biggest pitch of their lives. To achieve this, we called in the most brilliant minds and leaders of the business community to serve as mentors. Today's mentors are from the academe, the esteemed gurus of the Masters in Entrepreneurship program of the ACE Center for Entrepreneurship and Management Education in partnership with the Ateneo de Manila University Graduate School of Business. Professor Tommy Lopez Jr., formerly a broadcast journalist, documentary filmmaker, and public official, is currently the president of the University of Makati and one of the most respected men in the academe.
I'll talk to you about marketing the way books don't talk about it. Because after all, the best teacher in life is the real world. First is, why do we buy in the first instance? And then when we're finally buying, why do we buy the brands that we buy? Because we need. All human beings, regardless of race, color, and creed, we have the same sets of needs. Dr. Maslow says some of these needs have to do with our being human. No matter what the color of your skin is, no matter what words come out of your tongue, you have to eat. When the temperature drops a certain number of degrees, you grab a jacket or a shawl and wrap yourselves into something, right? Now, these are basic to all living things. Human beings have the next level of needs. the need to be safe. Then Dr. Maso says there's the next level of need, the need to belong. And that sense of kinship is very biological. But you and I, as we grow older, we realize the sense of connection rises beyond biological. Then the highest of human needs, when everything else on earth fails, we turn to stuff like religion, the arts, ideologies. Needs define our humanness. We're the highest form of life on earth. And yet, the sense of incompleteness is deepest among us. The shoeness of all shoes is the same. Shoes must protect consumers' feet, or it has no right to be called a shoe. But for you to be preferred, it takes more than your shoeness. So what happens? We buy because we need. When we're finally buying, the needs get metamorphosed into wants. We buy because we need. We buy one brand instead of another because of our nice-to-haves. Now, if our humanness shapes our needs, what shapes our nice-to-haves? Culture, all of those time and place-bound influences, included but not limited to economy, culture, religion, etc. Needs never change, but nice-to-haves always, always, always change. And what drives modern marketing is not the satisfaction of needs. What drives modern marketing is the satisfaction of consumers' nice-to-haves. Thank you very much, and good luck on your presentation.
Dr. Ed Morato Jr. has spent most of his career managing public and multilateral agencies, private development foundations, and educational institutions. Here, he talks to our entrepreneurs about the value of hiring the best people for their companies.
So we will start with managing the human resource function. This is the most unappreciated function of them all. Look at the personality of the people that we hire. Now, in here, I have what I call the quadrant brain model, divided into strategic on the top and operational, people and systems on the left. Highly developed left brain will have a strong quadrant A. The emotional brain, quadrant C, interpersonal, relating to other people, kinesthetic, which is movement, and finally the upper right, which is visual, holistic, and imaginative. Entrepreneurs are supposed to be strong in D, very creative, very imaginative. But many entrepreneurs are not good in quadrant B. They don't like to come at 9 and leave at 5. They don't want to follow schedules. And yet, the entrepreneur needs people like that. You need people that will do your accounting, people that will do your operations manual, etc., which are all quadrant B. You also need people to analyze for you, analyze your operations, analyze what's wrong with the business, which is quadrant A. A lot of Philippine entrepreneurs that I've seen are in the right brain. They have people skills, they know how to deal with suppliers, with customers. Today, the world is ruled by super quadrant A's and D's. Bill Gates is super quadrant A and D at the same time. But the most important question for you to grapple with, who will be the people that will help me get this thing in shape? A good who will find a great what. In other words, you really get a good person, they will be able to figure out the problem and come up with a solution. You know, a lot of the MBA stuff will tell you, stick to your core competence. But sticking to your core competence is for morons. Huh? If you're a moron, stick to what you're good at, because you can't do any better. But if you're a genius, you can actually go from industry to industry, product to product. Why? Because you're not really focused on that industry per se, because there is a formula for finding out what is the secret in textile, what is the secret in wine, what is the secret in golf, what kind of people do I need to hire, and how do I develop my organization such that we will be the best in the field. So different businesses will require different kinds of jobs and different kinds of people.
Next, on the final pitch.
If somebody else can deliver the same quality faster, you're dead.
Well, I'm going to bring them to several different activities and trying to get to know who they really are.
Professor Andy Ferreria has been in the academic scene for more than 30 years. He currently sits on the board in more than 15 companies.
Operations is not about cost. I'm not here to teach you how to lower the cost. Because that's not the paradigm of operations today. Before, the old school, fairly simple. Price, uniqueness, cost competitiveness. That's what makes a firm competitive. New school, or superior quality, delivering what the customer wants and where the customer wants. It's no longer about cost. If you are successful in your product or service, it will be copied and will become the standard if it's good. When we are in operations, we talk about quality, and quality is defined by what the customer wants and needs. Today, it's QDP. What's QDP? Quality, delivery, price. The new Fortuner of Toyota, people were queuing for it, even though the other brands were available for the same delivery, because it has the highest resale price in terms of second-hand vehicles. However, if you talk to a dealer who can deliver first, is where you go. When quality is perceived to be the same, then delivery is the game. But be careful. If somebody else can deliver the same quality faster, you're dead. It is quality first, delivery second, price or cost third. What do you have?
Tocino.
What will distinguish your tocino from other tocinos?
No MSG.
I will translate that to a tocino without or no MSG, and you will now process it to produce that. And don't worry about price. Let's take one more sample.
Online grocery delivery.
This is a service for people who can't leave the house. Then the service is of value. What is important in the process? On the quality side, accuracy of what they ordered. Delivered how long?
Within 3 hours.
Within 3 hours. How do you price now? When somebody says, what? You paid him $500 to deliver that? I can do it in 250, then you're dead. So when you price, don't price it at a level that it becomes attractive to the pirates. I wish you luck in your pitch. Go away from price. Go for value that no one else can deliver. Thank you very much.
To cap off this day of mentoring sessions, the entrepreneurs sat down with Startup Village chairman and business guru, Jay Bernardo, for a quick exercise in finding opportunities in the most unlikely places.
We will go through an observation exercise. Sometimes we call it serendipity walks. I will go into making them go into analyzing customers and how to become very good observers.
Their mission: to split into 2 groups and have lunch at the Japanese restaurant Akira at Alphaland Makati Place and observe the restaurant's operations and customers.
So prepare your observation materials. Now, identify the persons to be observed. I mean, if there's a particular person, okay, you'll be assigned. The second person. What I want to see is that a comparison between the 2 reports, Group 1 and Group 2, and whether you actually observe the same type of things. And try to give me a profile of who the customer of Akira is. And if there's something new that we could actually suggest to them, I'll give you a few minutes before we go to lunch, discuss it, and then get back. Well, I'm going to bring them to several different activities and trying to get to know who they really are. Because without knowing who they are, I cannot really advise them. I should be able to get to know who they are individually and then find out how to strengthen each one in the road of entrepreneurship.
After their working lunch, The entrepreneurs head back to regroup and share their observations with Professor J.
So how did the exercise go? Was it an easy exercise for you?
We were organized, so it was pretty easy, and everything was, all the information we needed was just flowing from the table. So we were discussing as each a customer walks in, then they tell us what they were ordering, he'd tell us what they were wearing, or what their social class was, and I just kind of tally stuff.
What about you guys?
We had Josh understanding just how to implement the operations and how they went through and conducted service, and from the preparation of the food. Kit was looking at the quality of the food. To do it slickly and to not be obvious and not to be looking at everybody, and to do it incognito, I think we did a very good job. And
Can you tell us what your observation was? What is the customer profile of Akira?
So what we observe about the customers, they are basically old people.
Old people? I was not there.
So another thing that we observe is that their menu is good for sharing.
Anything else from the group?
Why people are going there is because of the location. It's one of the few Japanese places only in the vicinity of that area.
Let's see group number one.
Our observance, it differs from Jet's, is it's not for sharing. Because most of the people ordered bento boxes. What are bento boxes? They're pre-packaged meals that have everything. A little salad, a little fruit for dessert, and a main. And when they paid, it was all separate bills. So we disagree that it's a place not for sharing, it's for your own.
You see, this is what I like about it. I like disagreement. See, disagreement brings about you going back to it and studying it again, right? Because that means that you guys, some people saw it in a different perspective and some people saw it in a different perspective, right? Two different perspectives, but the same market. You agreed on the particular market. Did you enjoy the exercise? Yes. All right, and I hope you could be able to use it again even after, when you start going into your specific customer profile. Let's give everybody a big hand.
Next week on The Final Pitch, we get to know self-made billionaire Joseph Calata and how he was able to grow from one small agri-store to becoming the youngest person to publicly list his company in the Philippines. And the first of the investor challenges begins.
So are you ready?
Yes.
You have 4 hours and your time starts now.